Welcome to Mystic Dragonfly Garden. It is June, about the middle of June, and we're going to talk mums. This time of year is when your local nurseries are planting up their mums for fall. And for us here in Zone 7B, mums can be perennial, and I have several mum patches, and I want to share with you how to manage and have mums in your yard as perennials. Now I have several mum patches in my garden. It's really fun, I think, to have all this pop of color come fall. I personally like my mums to bloom in October, but as you can see, these mums are about to burst open with color, and it is June. So this time of year is when your local nurseries are planting up their pots for the fall, planting those little plugs of mums. So now is the time of year that we need to take care of the mums in the garden so that they are ready to bloom in the fall when we expect to have mums to bloom. Now, there's a couple of different things we could do. We could go ahead and let these flush out and then cut them back, and just enough to cut off the blooms and let them reflush. Or really what I should have done was kept these trimmed to about 6 inches until now, and then I should have fertilized them and started to let them grow. But of course, time got away from me, and we have a supersized mum instead of a 6-inch mum. And the thing about mums is they love fertilizer. So in order for this, we have a set of 3 here, and these 3 actually were tossed aside by a local nursery because they were damaged in the hurricane, and they let us go through their compost pile, and we grabbed a handful of mums, planted them up last year, and voila, we have 3 beautiful mums. I believe this one is going to be an orange, one of them is purple, and one of them is yellow. Not quite remembering which side is purple and which side is yellow. But what I am going to do is trim these back to 6 inches, and then fertilize them, and hopefully by October, usually it takes about 6 months, but hopefully by October they will be in the state they are in right now, and will be ready to bloom for fall. I could take a hedge trimmer to these, but for the purposes of this video, I am just going to clip these. Mums also propagate super well in water, so I could take every single one of these cuttings and root them in water, and I would have more mums of this variety. So that's another good thing to know. If you have a mum you're particularly fond of, then if you are able to keep it, you're able to plant mums in the ground, or you're able to overwinter your containers. When you go to trim it back, go ahead and root those stem cuttings, and you can have a whole huge patch of mums. But I'm just coming in, and right above where there is a set of leaves. I am just trimming the stem back above a set of leaves, and it's really hard to do this, but I don't want my mums in June. I want my mums in October. Last year I waited too long. I think I cut them back in like July, and my mums didn't bloom until November. Well, by November I was ready to move on to Christmas, and it's kind of bummed I didn't have my mums in October. So you can really control when your mums bloom if you do plant them. I finally figured out how to be successful overwintering mums in pots, and I believe the secret to that is keep those pots watered throughout the winter. I had tried in past years to just let nature take its course with mums and pots, but that proved to be unsuccessful. Last year I had some of those rescue mums that we salvaged from a compost pile at a local nursery because they were damaged by the hurricane. And these obviously I planted in the ground, but I left the others in pots and just made it a point to keep them watered, and they are flushing back out. I need to actually trim those back because they are about to burst open into bloom as well. I'm going to fertilize with some plant tone, and I can also come out here and put some water soluble fertilizer on these mums to get them to put on new growth and be ready to bloom in October. Now I did at the beginning of the season, like early spring, I do fertilize. Well, I try to fertilize everything. So I do fertilize them then, and but having to cut them back, that is what they do at the nurseries when they plant up their plugs. They are very heavily fertilized so that they are ready for us to enjoy as fall plantings. Just fertilize everything while we're over here. Some of these I just newly planted, so some of these plants, I mean, so they can enjoy some fertilizer too. So here you can see I have cut this one back, and yes, the leaves have died down inside there, but that's okay. This mum was just about 2.5 feet tall before I trimmed it. Here's all the cuttings. I may try to root some of those just so I can show you how easily they root and the timeline on that. And then I was going to go ahead and cut this one back. This one is in a little bit more shade. I need to trim these branches of this cherry tree. And this one is a little bit taller, but since those buds are about to crack open, I'm going to wait another day or two so hopefully at least one bud will open, so I know whether which one's purple and which one is yellow. Here are the two mums that I successfully overwintered that were in pots. This one is kind of growing a little bit wonky, and this one, there's some dead stems here, which I can trim those up, and as you can see, this one is blooming in an orange color. I believe there's a tag in here, so let's see what this tag says. This says it is a Belgian mum Rhinos orange. So I'm going to, since I know what color this one is, it is what the tag says. Let me see what this one says. Again, these were, ooh, this looks like it's a mixed one. These were sent to the compost pile from the hurricane. They were damaged in the hurricane, and we rescued them. This particular one is going to be these three. It's going to be that yellow, orange, and red combination. Stavisky yellow, Stavisky orange, and Stavisky red. So that's actually 3 different mums. This one looks like it's all orange. All right, but I'm gonna trim this one up and fertilize this, and it will be ready to go for the fall. Now my experience with mums has been that if you buy those little quart-sized mums that they set out early in the fall, if you buy those and plant them early enough in the fall, they have enough time to develop a root system and they overwinter well. If you plant a really big mum too late, they often don't have enough time to establish a root system, and so before the cold of the winter hits, and so sometimes they don't come back. Now, if you're wondering where can you find mums right now so that you can get them in the ground, because now is a great time of year. If the nurseries are planting them up in pots, then obviously now is the time of year to be planting mums if you want them as perennials in your garden. But you can't order them. There are a lot of online companies. There are 2 that I have ordered from are Crown Mums. They're going to send you a wee little plug. So your best bet from Crown Mums is to plant them in pots, because they're going to send you like a little plug and give them a chance to develop a root system. Or you can order, I have ordered several mums from Bluestone Perennials, which come in those plantable pots, and I have some that I just stuck in the ground because I just needed to get them in the ground, and they still haven't found their forever home. But I'm sure you can find some other companies online that you can order mums from and go ahead and get them in the ground. But if you've missed that opportunity, then early fall, because I do know some mail order companies, they are about finished with their shipping for spring, because it is about to just be way too hot to ship plants. So catch them early fall and get your mums ordered and get them in the ground. There's some more tags, but they are all orange. orange. So I think this pot is definitely just that Reno orange. Now when they do plant mums in pots, you can see this netting. They put this netting around them to keep them from splitting open. And I haven't really had that problem with mine in the ground splitting open. But this is the first time I've been successful overwintering a mum in a pot. So I think I'm just going to keep this netting and I'm going to put it back over these shorter stems once I get this trimmed and let it grow through. As you know, mums can get pretty big. They can be 3 foot tall by 3 foot wide. Some of those ones I have out there in the front are every bit of that size in the ground. And I know you've seen them at the nurseries, at the box stores. They're just huge. That is fertilizer, fertilizer, fertilizer. They love fertilizer. So if you do plant mums or keep them in pots and overwinter them, just know that if you want that gorgeous display come fall, it requires a little bit of effort of maintaining that fertilization schedule with them. All right. So I think we are in good shape here. I don't guess I need all of these orange tags. I guess that just shows that all 3 are orange. Let me pull off some of this dead foliage. Okay, we are going to fertilize this. Heavy on the fertilizer because we want a beautiful display of these orange mums. And I'm going to put this netting back over this plant so that it can help it stay bunched together. Now when you put these in the ground, if you plant one, you do not have to plant them in sets of 3. The ones that I have in the front, I actually planted as those single, those were all clearance. They were single quart size mums that I had bought early. They were at the end of their bloom cycle, so of course the box stores put them on clearance. But it was early, probably the end of September, several years ago. I think they've been in the ground for 3 years now, maybe 4. But they were just planted as those single quart size containers, and they are every bit of almost 2.5, 3 feet tall and wide. All right, there we go. That mum is ready to do its thing, and hopefully it will be ready for fall. I'm looking forward to staying on top of it this year, and obviously when it comes to that time of year, we will see what this container does. Here is an example of a plug that I had ordered from Crown Mums. I planted it in this little quart-sized pot, and I've not gotten it in the ground yet. I really need to get these in the ground. This particular one is Zembla Lime, which is a white and green mum. There's so many fun different types of mums when you start looking at them. So many different colors and flower structures, leaf structures. They really are a lot of fun. But I have several that I need to get in the ground. Yes, those are proven winter pots. They are not proven winter plants. That's just the quart-sized pots that I had. For the love of dirt, get outside. Enjoy what nature has to offer. Until next time.